Hello, and welcome to another episode of From the Honeycomb, a podcast that creates a spark of positive energy in your home to design, architecture, yoga, meditation, and travel. I've created this podcast as a place to come for design inspiration and especially to learn about Vastu Shastra with a modern approach. I am your host, Katerina and welcome to From the Honeycomb. Happy Friday, everyone. I have a very fun episode planned for you today that we actually pre-recorded with Jesse while we were staying in an Airbnb in Big Bear to celebrate my 30th birthday a couple weeks ago. And so before we dive in, though, I realized we didn't share what we were grateful for. And so let's ground down and think of something we are grateful for. All right, so in this present moment, I want to say I'm very grateful for the opportunity we had to get out of town, even if just for a few days. As I mentioned in the episode coming up, we weren't able to go away to Nicaragua as planned due to COVID restrictions, and so I'm really grateful we still, decided to go. Wish we had the finances, the time off to go for a quick little trip to Big Bear because it was super fun to ring in my 30s. Tried snowboarding for the first time, which was really fun. But overall, I'm just super grateful we got to get away like that. All right, and without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Welcome, Jesse, to this week's episode, where it's very special because we are recording from an Airbnb up in Big Bear. I guess it's called Arrow Bear because it's in between Lake Arrowhead and Big Bear.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. They're so creative with their names.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this episode we're recording from an Airbnb. I know this weekend changed a little bit. We were supposed to be in a treehouse in Nicaragua in 80-degree weather, and here we are in 36-degree weather of a high in the mountains in Southern California and celebrating my 30th birthday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go to Nicaragua because of some COVID testing requirements, so we kind of decided let's do a quick little getaway to celebrate my 30th. Why are you laughing?
More snow fell through.
Jesse hasn't seen snow.
It's been a long time since I lived in snow.
Not even lived, but you haven't visited snow in a while either.
Mm-mm.
This is our first time seeing snow together.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Even though I've seen snow throughout our relationship at least once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you're so excited. Jesse got new snowboard pants, snow jacket. Yeah, we're going snowboarding tomorrow, which is going to be super fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a really cute Airbnb, and so we kind of thought, wouldn't it be fitting to record an episode in an Airbnb about why we like you? And this is not also sponsored by Airbnb at all, although I would love to be sponsored by Airbnb because I love always booking all our trips. We book every trip through Airbnb. I think there's only one trip we haven't.
Lauren and Cleo's wedding.
Yeah, because we stayed at a hotel. And then when we went to Europe, because we stayed with family and friends. But otherwise, we've booked every trip with Airbnb. We love it. We just love finding cute, unique places. We've gotten compliments. My mom's always like, how do you find such cute places? Mm-hmm. And this one especially, too. And I'll provide a link for this Airbnb, so if you're wondering where we're recording from, it's really cool. It's a cute little cottage. It's got a black and white theme with natural wood colors. Beautiful wood ceiling, TNG ceiling. Yeah, just looking around, it looks super cool. Super cozy. There's a hot tub. We just had, so we got here, an hour ago? Mm-hmm. And we had some coffee up on this view deck, which was really cool.
Yeah, I did a little hike up the boulders to the top of the property where they have a view deck up there. Mm-hmm. Saw some wildlife footprints in the snow. We saw bird, rabbit, and then what we're guessing is either bobcat or mountain lion. Mm-hmm. Cool. Super excited to maybe see some wildlife.
Then what do you think of this Airbnb compared to our others?
No, I like it's keeping in kind with the others where it is something unique and special. It's fun.
Yeah, we seem to find good. Our last trip was in Topanga Canyon for New Year's Eve, and we stayed in an Airbnb that was called The Hidden Lady, And so it was part of a cottage, and they had like 2 levels. So we rented the bottom level, and it had a little oriental theme, but everything was kind of like also fuzzy plush. And the bed was kind of cool. It had this like painted lady on it.
The mural,
Yeah, the mural was really cool. It had a cool like patio area.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that was kind of a fun little place we found. Before that, we were in Madeira. I feel like we talk about Madeira on this podcast a lot. But Madeira, I think my favorite Airbnb we've ever stayed in was the second one in Madeira, which was super cool. It was this like new kind of contemporary house, and it was on the lower level of a 2-story house. The owner lived upstairs. We actually had drinks with him one night, which was really fun. And he was a gentleman who did a lot of importing, exporting of goods in Funchal. And so this was his little like weekend getaway place, and he turned the lower part into Airbnb. And we were one of the first few people there because he was really asking us like, what do you think? How do you like it? I think maybe I'll provide a link in the show notes of like every place we've stayed that we talk about.
That's cool.
That way you can see like visually. But that was really cool and had a beautiful view of a hill of banana plantations and then the ocean, and it had a herb garden and the floors were really cool. I liked how like there just was like concrete finished floors. We had a little kitchen. We ended up having some friends over for dinner.
Yeah, it was cool. The owner, his name was...
I don't remember.
I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Andre. No, Andre. No, Andre's
it was something more familiar. But when he was giving us the tour of the property, he showed us the herb garden, and then he like insisted, because we told him, you know, we like Airbnbs. One of the reasons is because we like to cook, and he insisted. He's like, "Oh, please come down. You know, use the herb garden for whatever you're cooking." And we did when we had friends over. We cooked up a pasta meal, made a homemade sauce, and used the herb garden as ingredients for that.
And it had a cute little like dip pool. It wasn't like a jacuzzi, which I thought it was, but it was like a dip pool that you could like swim in, and so that was really fun. And then the Airbnb we stayed in before that one in Madeira was like a bigger house because we had a lot of family events, a lot of things going on. So that was kind of cool too. At least the grounds were cool. The house itself was pretty simple, which was kind of nice what we needed because we used it for my bachelorette yoga party. Then we had a bunch of family over constantly throughout the week. Then you got ready before the wedding there with Jenna. And so that was, it was a lot of time was spent there, but it was really cool. And then before Madeira, I'm trying to think where else. We didn't really travel too much last year. We visited family in Colorado. We went camping.
We went to
Monterey. Oh,
Carmel Valley.
Oh, that was
cool. Yeah.
That was a cool place we stayed. That was a little house on 40 acres that I think was off the grid because it had solar panels. It had a septic tank. I'm pretty sure maybe it wasn't.
I think it had power. I think it had utility power.
But that was cool. That was on 40 acres, beautiful in the hills of Carmel Valley. And that was a perfect getaway because that was New Year's between 2020 and 2021. And so COVID kind of spiked up again, and we wanted a place to go to where we weren't near a bunch of people, and this was the perfect place. And then we had a wood burning fireplace, which was amazing. Loved that. The kitchen was pretty cool too. Yeah,
lots of deer, wild turkeys, just dozens and dozens. I mean, whole flocks of wild turkeys, deer, and unusual forest creatures. I think I like Airbnbs because they are unique. And for me, so I used to travel quite a bit in the military and in the government, but obviously on assignment. And so it was usually hotels. Like every once in a while for an extended assignment, I'd be at an apartment, or if it was like a deployment, then I would be in, tents and crap like that. So it's nice to be able to travel for leisure and then have that where we stay, our quarters, be something like fun and different. Because especially if you're traveling a long distance and you spend a bunch of time in airports and you spend a bunch of time in the airplane, then it's like you spend a lot of time in places that have a lot of repetition, like airport, like one terminal looks like the next one, looks like the next one, looks like the next one. You get on a plane, one plane looks like the next one, looks like the next one. You get in your seat in the plane, looks like the seat next to yours, the row next to yours. So like hotels are like just looks like the next one, looks like the next one, looks like the next one. So Airbnbs are like opposite of that. It's like the next one never looks like the last one. And so it kind of makes it more like adventurous and fun and less just repetition, just more of the same and more of the same. It's like, this is fun and different. Like we've never had 2 Airbnbs that were similar. Like they all have kind of like their own little quirks. Like the one we're in now, a good majority of the furniture is like bolted down to the ground. It's like they've found their layout and they don't want you moving the little breakfast table an inch to one direction. It's bolted to the ground. There's like a little love chair in the master suite. The patio furniture up on the observatory deck, that's all bolted to the ground. So it's like just like unique. Fun, quirky stuff like that. It's like, wow, you know.
Well, I was just thinking to what other Airbnbs we stayed in as you were talking, and it also makes for like really funny stories because before Carmel, because during COVID we traveled more local, we stayed in Malibu. And when we like told people, I know, when we told people, oh yeah, we spent the weekend in Malibu, everyone was like, oh wow, like, you know, you're thinking like we stayed in some beautiful house right on the beach. We literally stayed in, we overpaid.
An old converted garage.
Yeah, that's literally like a shack. And I mean, the experience of it was so fun, like worth it, but it had a hodgepodge of furniture and just over furnished. But then, yeah, it was a converted garage into a shack.
It was funny because like there's no door locks. There's like a latch, like you can latch your door, which we're not ever really concerned about security.
No.
But that was funny. Like it had like a pair of French doors that latched together. That's all they did. On the opposite side of this room, there actually was like your typical door, which did have a deadbolt and a knob, but there was no key to it. Like they're like, no, we don't use that. You use these rickety French doors.
Yeah,
and that's where you saw the coyote chasing the rabbit right up to the door.
Oh man, yeah. There's one morning I went out to go meditate because I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm going to meditate. Like it was kind of more of like the rural area. I guess we should say like it was the more rural area of Malibu. So there's of course like the glamorous side of Malibu. And for those who aren't familiar, there's also, once you go up into the hills, there's more of a farm, chickens and like just more local, rustic, I guess, rural living. And so that's kind of where we stayed in that neighborhood. And yeah, so it was just like very nice, like outside, you're sitting out in the morning and you hear like the roosters crow, which was kind of cool. And so, yeah, one morning I went outside to meditate and I like walked out the pair of those, rickety French doors. And I just went, oh, bunny. What did I say?
You were walking out of the French doors and I heard you saying something. And I heard you say, coyote, bunny, coyote, bunny. And you're trying to get back in and I'm trying to get out because I hear coyote. So I'm going to come out and see it. And the rabbit got probably within 10 feet of you. Yeah. And that's the first time I saw it. So as I'm coming out the door, the rabbit, which I think if the doors had been open, it would have come inside.
Oh, absolutely.
But as I'm coming out and it sees me, the rabbit takes a hard left, just like boom, just like a 90-degree turn. Never seen an animal like turn that fast. And the coyote comes to a sliding stop about 15 feet away from us. And then she just stares at us and looks at us and then just slowly turns and kind of trots off. And then we see her mate about 150 feet away, kind of down the gully and across. And he was like looking at us like, wow, what the fuck? And then like
he didn't get it.
They just kind of wander off. But we saw him again the next morning.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we went to drive and we turned down our road and it's very rural. Like there's even for traffic is not. So like the coyote's like it was like a steep bank going up on one side and then a steep drop off on the other. So one coyote dodges off and goes like down the hill. The other coyote had spooked and went up the hill, but it could only go up like so far because it was really steep. It's like you could just tell it was just like, this is a dumb idea. But yeah, that was cool.
And that's the thing too, is like when we kind of stay in these like unique places, we see more wildlife. We see it's just more of a local experience too. I feel like we feel more local. We really get to see what it's like to experience. We really get to experience, just like the local residential like part of it. I'm trying to think. After Malibu, then there was Mexico, which
After Malibu?
Because it was 2020, and then we couldn't go. That New Year's 2019 to 2020 was Mexico, because then everything shut down, and the next trip we were able to take was Malibu, because we didn't do anything in the spring of 2020. Oh, no, we did.
No, we went
to Sonoma.
Sonoma.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I probably got COVID for the first time.
Yeah. That was a really cool place because Maya Angelou had lived in that house. So that was really cool. She had written one of her poems, novels, something like that. So that was kind of cool. It was like a little piece of history. And that was a cute little kind of house, cottagey place. And that was kind of nice. Also, you live in like a residential area. And I don't know, there's something about it. Like that was a kind of fun, unique little place.
That one was definitely more residential.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, because we were like a ADU on someone's property essentially. An ADU is a accessory dwelling unit. Don't really
Nerd alert.
I have to work on ADUs at work for architecture. So an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. And what that is you have an additional dwelling unit on your property. So obviously a lot of people are turning those into Airbnbs, like what we've stayed in. It's your little nerd alert tip of the day, what an ADU is. And so, there was Sonoma and then Mexico. Mexico was super cool. Yeah, because... Was
it Sonoma then? No.
Yeah.
Sonoma wasn't, no. No way. We did not go to Mexico after COVID started.
It was before. So it was
right.
I'm going backwards.
Oh.
I'm going backwards in time. Face palm. Jesse's face palming his forehead.
Okay.
So it was Mexico, then we went to Sonoma, but in the chronological order I'm going in today.
Reverse chronological order.
So then Mexico was super fun. We stayed, this was for Jesse's birthday, even though his birthday's in November. I'm a little Scorpio. Yeah, I surprised him with a trip to Mexico, but for New Year's, where we stayed in this really cool place. It had this whole wall was just sliding glass doors. And so you could see the ocean, and we stayed in like a private residence, like a private community, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's called Los Gaviados.
Yeah. A lot of people go there. Like I see it so, like people I follow on Instagram who go, like are yoga people. Like so many people go there.
Yeah, it's got really good security. I mean, we don't really, well, when we are abroad, I worry about security a little bit more than when we're at home, when we're traveling in the States, but still, it had good security as far as they don't let visitors in. It's gated. There's a gate attendants. I don't really call those people guards because they're not really guarding anything. But even say, for instance, if we met somebody in town in Porto Nuevo and we wanted to bring them back just for drinks or whatever, they wouldn't be allowed into the community without our host's approval. Like we'd have to contact our host and add them to the list. Mm-hmm. So it was really well controlled. So that was good.
Yeah, that was nice. And
Cute
that was
place.
Really nice. Yeah, you said the surfing was good. And then, and that was kind of cool. Like we had no idea where we were even going, what was nearby. And why did we ended up leaving to go look for a grocery store or something. We're going to go for a restaurant. And I'm like, there's this like little area that has a ton of restaurants. And that was Puerto Nuevo, where I had amazing lobster. For $20, I think I had 3 lobsters.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And their wine was good. And that was a trip we did the Guadalupe Valley, which was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. We did a wine tour of the Guadalupe Valley.
Which is their like Napa Valley from Mexico. I think it was a huge percentage of their wine is from Guadalupe Valley. And that was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had cow tongue tacos that day.
So
super good. What else did we do that trip? Surfing.
Yeah, we mostly. And that was another thing too. Like, so that trip especially, like, we have some friends who have gone to Mexico and have had digestion issues because of some of like the street food. And so by us staying in a place with a kitchen, it really helps me because I have a super sensitive digestion. And so just being able to like even cook local food, like I have to say those were the best taco. What did you have? You made
chicken street tacos.
Chicken street tacos you made, because we went to the local grocery store. We kind of got to like see like their ingredients and like have fun with their recipes, like what we usually make at home, but with local food. And it was phenomenal. The tortillas were so good. The beans, just like it was so authentic. Yeah.
Like the chicken, you could tell, like even though we buy organic meat that's non-GMO and all of that, still like when you buy, it was the same when we were in Portugal. Like when you buy produce that's actually, or meats that are actually farm raised, the portions are smaller. Like the chicken breasts, when we made those street tacos in Mexico, they were smaller. It was like but that's more standard. Because I remember my grandparents, when I was real little, had a farm, and they raised chickens and turkeys, and they raised pigs and cattle, but for food. They raised some cattle for sale, and like my grandfather would hand out, like he would butcher and give out turkeys to his clients. But so all the animals were raised as food. But I remember like seeing the sizes of those animals, and they just don't compare to like what you see in the store now. Or just like in the store, you're just like, Jesus, that's like a monster sized animal, you know? So it is cool, like when we cook with local ingredients.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because every place we stay, we have a kitchen. Also, it's nice to kind of just like make your own breakfast in the morning. Because actually on the way up here, we were talking about the two hotels we've stayed at. One was at Katerina Lauren's wedding in Missouri, but the other was Reed's Palace where we got married.
Oh yeah, all right.
But like,
well,
okay,
I forgot about
we did. We have
a hotel.
We've stayed, I guess, in 2 hotels in total together. One was at our friend's wedding in Missouri, and then the second was at our wedding. I stayed the night before, and then we stayed our wedding night at Reed's Palace. But like the breakfasts, and maybe this is a U.S. thing, because the U.S. hotels, at least I've stayed at, because like growing up, I know, so I guess, yeah, to rewind for, you mentioned you're growing up, or not growing up, but like hotels you've stayed in and everything. For me, when my family would travel, we were very hotel people, but I also don't think it was as common to have Airbnb like stays and everything. Like I feel like now it even makes more sense like financially, because if we get like a 2-bedroom, like thinking about we had to get 2-bedroom hotels or hotels rooms with 2 beds, like it just adds up so much. And so maybe, I don't know if we're definitely going to keep traveling with Airbnbs because it's so fun. Like this is like this place too. Like, so yeah, I guess to talk about this place, it's so nice. Like we have a jacuzzi, we had the like deck up above, and it's just so different. And I don't know, it's cozy. We have a living room. Like I feel like we also don't feel like we have to be out and about as much too. Like we have to go out and eat at a restaurant. We have to go, because then you kind of end up spending more money too, I think, if you stay in a hotel, because you can't come home and like we just brought some meats and cheeses, and we have our breakfasts, and we're going to eat food on the slopes. But
and I can't, and there's probably is a time, and I'm probably just not remembering, but I can't off the top of my head remember a time where we turned on a TV in an Airbnb.
Oh no! I mean, we watch TV.
Most TVs or most Airbnbs we stay at have TVs, maybe with a few exceptions, but that I can think of have never. No. But we still hang out here. But it's just like we don't watch TV. We play some games, or we talk, or we cook, or we just hang out. But I feel like in a hotel, it's like you're in a hotel. You're like, if you're in the room, turn on the TV. It's like, and then who wants to do that? Who wants to travel and then sit there and watch a TV? Like that's lame.
Yeah, that is true. Like because at home we don't watch TV like every single night, but it's kind of our go-to because we've had long days. Yeah. So when we travel, we really do try to just like.
I think at home it's the work thing. Like we get home, like especially during the week, it's like we get home, we work. We work all. We're pretty not stressful jobs, but high energy jobs. Get home, you cook dinner, get out of the shower, and then it's just like I don't want to do squat. I don't want to think anymore. I don't want to read anymore that day. I'm just done.
Well, and so I think also just to kind of bring this into the theme of the podcast as well, is like we also turn our Airbnbs into kind of like a homey feeling. Like we have our slippers that we bring with, and like
candles.
Well, that's a new thing. So I actually was on it. Don't roll your eyes. I have a beautiful candle that I bought yesterday that is burning next to us. And I actually learned this from a trip I just took with a friend to Mammoth. And her mom, we stayed at a rental. And her mom brought out some candles, and they had candles going. And I'm like, and my friend and I got there a little later. She's like, oh, I brought this scented candle. And they're like, okay, well, we'll exchange that out. I'm like, you guys, and I was like, you guys brought your own candles? Like, what? And she's like, yeah, we always bring, if we can, when we travel. Because obviously, if you're going to fly somewhere, I do believe this counts as a liquid.
I believe so.
Because I know I've bought candles before, and they make you take it out. So yeah, so obviously we if you drive somewhere, so I was like, oh, I'm going to do that on our next trip. And here we are with a beautiful candle that's making this place smell so homey and nice. Does that smell good? And it has a bee on it. Oh, and look at, it's like a theme of this podcast too. Magnolia Burmont. Yeah, it's coconut wax blend with essential oils. But it's like, it's got a little honey in it. It's got a bee. It's like in keeping with the theme. There's a vase. Is that a vase?
Vase has water in it. It's a pot.
Isn't that a philodendria?
It is a philodendrium.
Don't they need water? It's a pot?
Most of them plant in soil.
Oh.
The ones we have at home,
Oh, you just soak them in water?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just have them in water, and I use a special water plant fertilizers to feed them. Mm. Except for the ones that are dying because I've been studying for the past month.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'll bring them back to life when we get back.
But I'm pretty proud of myself for getting that plant right, because there's been like 2 episodes on this podcast where I talk about it, and I'm like, oh, this water plant.
I don't know. You kind of combine philodendrium and Philadelphia. It's like, is that a philodendria?
It sounds. Is that what is it?
Philodendrium.
Philodendria. What did you say? Philodendria.
That's what you said. Fa. No fa.
No, different. Well, you want some more? Yeah, pour yourself some more. Oh, Jesse has to go up, so we're having a little rosé. You didn't put it too far out. We're having a little rosé since it's the eve of my birthday, and we've been keeping it outside in the snow because we're like, oh, how many times do we get to? You can just finish and then I'll talk. There you go. Now you can pour it. Thank you. Get all the sound effects in. But yeah, so we're keeping we have a little champagne bar outside. Yeah, I'll have some more. Just to celebrate my birthday. Having a little champagne, a little rosé. So, thank you.
Prosim.
And I'll probably make, I think it's getting close. I didn't put it in the snow. I don't have sound effects like that on my podcast usually. Good.
Good.
Are you cold out? It's cold.
I'm not cold. I'm a little cool. Just in my legs. Just 'cause I only have jeans on. But.
Yeah. I have yoga pants on. I feel pretty good, but they have mesh in them, but I still feel good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
No, and the floors in the bathroom are heated, which is so nice.
Yeah,
nice.
There's a fireplace in the living room, fireplace in the master suite. So that's nice.
Oh, it's cute. We've been toying with the idea of having a rental too.
We have.
Because we go into so many cool places. And we're like, oh, we could totally do something like this. We have the skills. Now we just got to get the financial backing.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to invest in our...
Yeah, if we want to partner up on an Airbnb with us. Mm-hmm. It's not like we don't have the finances. We're prioritizing at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's something we could do, but
we've talked about this is a perfect this is
size.
Probably 800 square feet.
No. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, probably 700.
Yeah,
I can see it.
It's fun because the small areas like we've talked about is when you have a small footprint like this, you can buy a little bit more expensive materials because you don't have a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So that's fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we could really have fun with it, and we've looked. I mean, we've gotten close to looking at places.
Yeah, we've had appointments to go look at things, and we actually did have a few place or two we were going to look at, and then they sold prior to us being able to go up and look at them because they were a couple hours away from us. So
it's a crazy market out right now too. There's one place we were going to go look at, they're like, oh yeah, you have to like replace the septic system. That's a $10,000 charge. We're like, oh, right up front, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, oh, could we like, reduce the price then? And our realtor's like, no, you're gonna ask above asking. Like, you're gonna offer above asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should say you're gonna offer above asking regardless. And we're like, are you kidding me? He's like, it's vicious out there right now. And so it's hard to compete with people who also have like $200,000 in cash to put down or are buying properties in cash. So it's like, Anyway, we're going to put it out there though. Like, put it out into the universe that we'll have a rental one day too. Because it's fun. No, this Airbnb is really cool. I'm really excited about it. Being here, definitely needed a break, even though I know we're supposed to be in a warmer climate right now.
Yeah, I'm stoked to snowboard tomorrow.
That'll be fun. It'll be good. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. It was fun kind of going over all our trips too, and we've had some fun places we've stayed. So
yeah, for sure.
It definitely changes the experience of the trip too. You don't just have whatever the place was, whatever tour you took, but you also have that memory of the place you stayed, which is really cool. And we've really had some good luck finding some fun places.
Yeah,
like this
sure.
one. All right, well, I think that's it. Let's go cook some dinner.
Let's cook some dinner.
Yay! And then we'll probably jump into the hot tub because it's looks so cozy in there. Like, It's supposed to light up, and I'm super excited. I haven't been in a hot tub forever. I don't even know. We're doing a lot of firsts this trip. I don't think I've ever been in a hot tub with you, and I've never been in snow with you.
No, both accurate.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. I can hear your stomach. Or is that my stomach?
That's your stomach.
Then it's definitely time to eat. All right. Well, thank you, Jesse. This was really fun.
Thank you, my love. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I know it's a little different, but before we wrap up, I wanted to jump back on here and share something that I can't believe we completely forgot to talk about in our episode, which is Jesse actually proposed in an Airbnb. And that's the one thing we didn't talk about. We realized a couple hours, I think maybe a day later, we're like, oh yeah, we got engaged in an Airbnb. Why didn't we even talk about that? It was like the one big trip for us for sure. And we failed to mention it. So I just wanted to share Airbnbs really are special to us. It's the way we travel. Again, not a sponsored podcast episode, but I would love to be sponsored by Airbnb, of course. I love the concept of the company, everything that they are doing, especially with the Ukraine crisis. And it's a great company. I love their stays, the platform, everything. Obviously, we love it so much that we even got engaged in an Airbnb, but just wanted to share that little tidbit that we can't believe we forgot because that was the cutest little Airbnb too. It looked like it was a little like a cottage, it was an ADU, now that you all know what that is. It was an ADU on this property, and we stayed in it, and it was beautiful, and it reminded us of Europe, and it was just this cute little like studio cottage, and that's where Jesse proposed. So we kind of have this nice, I wish I could share a link to the place too because it's so cute, but it doesn't look like it's any longer being rented. So I don't know if the owner moved or just wasn't renting out anymore. But so yeah, just a little fun thing. I can't believe we forgot. Like the biggest Airbnb stay we had was where he proposed and we didn't share it. So wanted to end on that. And if you like this episode, please give it a heart or thumbs up and click the follow button so you can stay up to date on the latest episodes. You can follow me on Instagram at From the Honeycomb Podcast. Thank you so much and see you next Friday.